All right, morning everyone. Welcome to another episode of Market Trading. I am your host, Tone Vays, coming to you live. It is 10:20 a.m. New York time. Do we go to the chart? Do we go to the charts first, or do we go down a rabbit hole that was started 10 minutes ago by the very first comment to this YouTube stream? And I will read the comment. Let's open a chart. Let's open a short-term chart of Bitcoin, and I will then read the comment. And the comment is, "Hey Tone, lunar eclipse tomorrow. I did not know that. The last time lunar eclipse marked a significant event in Bitcoin history. The last several, actually. Last 3 lunar eclipses. Apparently, they corresponded to Terra Luna breaking up. Hey, Shibley, welcome. Terra Luna fitting on a lunar eclipse. The 2021 cycle top. Which one, though? The April or November? That is still, a bit questionable which one was the cycle top. In hindsight, it's April, but in real time, it was obviously November. And the FTX collapse, they all corresponded to a lunar eclipse. Now, that's kind of interesting, but that's also potentially cherry picking. How does the flat Earth affect this? That's a good question. How does the flat Earth affect a lunar eclipse? I would love for them to explain it to me. I would also love for them to explain to me how Japanese planes made it to Hawaii in 1941 on Pearl Harbor attack on a flat Earth. I would love for them to explain that, because even today, your airplane may not have enough fuel to get there. And this is 1941, small plane. But yeah, there's there's a few minor gaps in the flat Earth theories. Okay. So let's quickly go down the rabbit hole. So the lunar eclipse. So anytime we get into does astrology factor into the markets? And the answer is crazy, maybe. And I'm not the only crazy one that gives it the answer of maybe. Anytime this conversation comes up, I always refer back to this paper that I read in July of 2010. When it came out, I was working at Wall Street at the time. And there was a paper by the Royal Bank of Scotland. Scotland, not surprising, of all people, kind of closer to the North Pole over there. And they wrote a paper, and it's a short paper called Sheer Lunacy Staring at the Heavens. And this was a paper by an investment bank about how lunar cycles affect markets. Let me zoom this in for you a bit. Okay. I don't know if you can find this paper online. Things tend to, kind of go away on the internet. Not necessarily for conspiracy theory reasons, but also just, it's hard to keep data on the internet. Like, it's not as easy as you think. So you can try to Google for this paper, see if anyone has it on the internet. If they don't, maybe I can throw it on a Google Drive or something. Or maybe I can just, slowly scroll and you guys can take screenshots of the YouTube video. I have no idea. So when I did a search, and this wasn't going to be the rabbit hole, I was just going to show you guys this paper and be done with it. However, in order for me to find this paper in, you can see the file, see users, tone, documents, books, and then the word bear. I'm assuming bear stands for Bear Stearns. Bear, yeah, there's JPM. So you can see the folder that it's in has to do with Bear Stearns, JP Morgan. It was like my research papers. I have many research papers, especially from that time. I have so many research papers from 2009, 2010. They're so interesting to look back upon what was going on in the markets. I have a Front Point presentation. Front Point was that hedge fund from the movie The Big Short. Maybe I can Google for that. Hold on. So it's rabbit hole going into a rabbit hole. Front Point. Yep, there it is. So this is a paper in my laptop from 2007 Front Point. Front Point was, besides Michael Burry, the next biggest character in the movie The Big Short was the guy that ran Front Point. I already forgot what his name was. The next biggest character was actually Hank. Was it Hank Paulson? No, or that. Oh man, Paulson Funds, but I forgot his first name. And he made it big as well. So this was literally a presentation. Look at the date on this presentation. It's July 19, 2007, long before the crash. Like if we go to the stock market and I go to the monthly chart of the S&P, or we can use the banking sector as well. If we go to July of 2007, that's May of 07. The top didn't even come till October 07. This presentation is from July 07, a little bit like 4 months before the top. Here's the Front Point presentation talking about the real estate collapse. This was their presentation. I have it. I don't remember being part of I don't remember being on that call, but I definitely got my hands on that presentation. Okay. Yeah, Steve Carell. Yeah. That was the character that played him. Yep. Mark Baum. Thank you. Yes. Mark Baum. This is his presentation from July 2007. I have it, and I have many others. This is what happens when you're in that industry at the time. So anyway, let's get back to lunar eclipses and the effect on the stock market. So when I was doing my search inside my laptop on lunar cycles, I did not even realize it. I think I just typed in the word lunar. That's all I typed. And an Excel sheet was there. I mean, a lot of stuff came up. I can't really, maybe I can show you like a screenshot. Hold on. So let me see if there's nothing. Equity research. I don't know why that would come up. But let me do something real quick. Control Shift S. Let me take a screenshot. Now I gotta go to my favorite application of all time. Who here has watched me long enough to know what my favorite application is on a Windows computer? Huge props if you get it right. Tone's favorite application on a Windows machine. Notepad. No, but you're close. Not Notepad. Close though. A for effort. Minesweeper. That was my favorite application back in the early 90s. Paint. There you go. Pelican got it. Paint. Microsoft Paint. Excel's my second favorite. Microsoft Paint is my favorite. Okay. I did what I needed to do. Now I just got to open it. Pictures. WordPad. Oh God, I remember WordPad. So when I did a search for the word lunar in my computer, this is what came up. Okay. These are all the documents that came up. And the one that this is the one I was looking for right here, RBS phase market analysis. And because it's so important or so like weird that it's actually in multiple places in my laptop. And a bunch of other things came up. Elliott Wave, which I think is worse than astrology. Elliott Wave, probably one of his original papers. But this came up, an Excel spreadsheet on lunar cycles. And, Encyclopedia of Trading Strategies. What is that? Also some other interesting things, like there was a couple of books. Yeah, but this is what shows up. CMT stuff. Ooh, I never actually did the CMT exam. But anyway, you can take a screenshot of this and see what shows up. When I type in the word lunar, not sure why options trading is showing up. I got to go through some of these. It's like I'm always like curious. So right here, this spreadsheet came up and I'm like, well, what is that? I opened the spreadsheet And I only had like 5 minutes to look at this before the stream started. So this is why we're going down the rabbit hole. And I threw everything in that spreadsheet into a Google spreadsheet because technology has evolved. Because I didn't remember what this was. I didn't know if this was mine or this is someone else's. God knows what other stuff is on my laptop. I know I wouldn't want the wrong people looking at it. And what I discovered was there was a spreadsheet that here, there is apparently a lunar number, which I did not even know. I didn't remember. And then here's the date of a new moon, first quarter, full moon, last quarter. I forgot what these terms mean. And there are buy and sell dates, because sometimes I guess it happens on the weekend. And then there is a back test to the S&P 500. And here's the price of the S&P 500 going all the way back to 1981. And I looked at this spreadsheet, and it was last updated on this day, around 2010, like in July of 2010. And that makes it super interesting. Yeah, we can add 1,000 rows. Super interesting that this spreadsheet goes back to June with the S&P data of June 30th, 2010. This RBS paper was published in 7th of July, 2010. So immediately after reading this paper, I must have spent, I don't know, I don't remember doing this at all. And I don't even do drugs. So I don't know. I do drink alcohol though. So it's been 14 years or 13 years since this time, exactly 13 years. And it's just like, I was like, wow, I must have done this research on back testing the S&P 500 using lunar cycles. And I did this when, oh shoot, hold on. I want to get the exact date, the last time this spreadsheet was updated in my laptop. Really, I mean, like, this is, I think this is cool. I know you guys probably don't care, but this was last updated. Date modified. It updated the date to today, unfortunately, in my laptop. But when I looked at it earlier, it was 2010. It was sometime in July 2010. So in July 2010, after reading that paper, I must have immediately wanted to test the hypothesis and the research in that paper. And you know what? In order to be a successful trader, this is what you have to do. Trading is not easy. Trading is always about research, and your trading is only as good as your trading system and how much you trust that system. So apparently, immediately after reading this paper, I must have spent some time, I don't remember how much time, maybe a day, maybe a week, maybe a month, I don't remember. But I clearly spent time researching whether understanding of the lunar cycles would give me an advantage in the market. And it doesn't matter if this is crazy or not. What matters is, will you make money? And you can see there's formulas here. I have no idea what these, oh no, there's not here. They're in my spreadsheet. Because when I copied pasted into a Google Doc, the formulas didn't transfer. So I do need to go back to that spreadsheet. And if I find the time and I want to, you know, we now have 14 more years of data. I got to figure out what every one of these cells represented, how I started this research. I'm hopefully a little wiser now, 13 years later, and way more trading experience. And yeah, so this is cool. And you can see how there's like NAs here because the data wasn't there. So I filled this out to see how the S&P will do in the future till the end of 2010 using lunar cycles. But I didn't have the data. I didn't have the data because the data did not yet exist. So I must have done this in very early 2000, July of 2007, immediately after reading that paper as the paper came out. I got that paper immediately as it came out. I was paying attention to all the research. And like I said, trading is a full-time job. And anything that can give you an edge should be researched and validated. Trust, trust but verify. Okay, so enough of lunar cycles. And this is a rabbit hole I would love to go down. and see how this would have worked out for the next 10 years. I already have the basis right here. Okay. So now we can go to the charts. I don't know. I think this is cool. But yeah. But now when I do a search on the word lunar, like different stuff shows up. Weird. Where did I search before? Man. Gotta be in documents. Lunar. Ah, why isn't it showing up the same way it did before? Shoot, hold on. 1 second. There we go. All right, I'm gonna grab one more random. I want to see what that Elliott Wave document is. I hate Elliott Wave. I really hate Elliott Wave. And by the way, this is also how Tone ends up with 1 million tabs, because I go down these things. This is an Elliott Wave paper. It is 113 pages. It was published in, and I have no idea when it was published. I hate that. I hate it when there's no date. I hate it when there's no date. Give me at least a copyright. Give me something. What's the date? Give me a date. I can look at the charts and see where the dates are in the charts, but this has to be old. Outlook. This bull market should be the first buy and hold market since 1960s. Wow, was Elliott Wave right for a change? The experience, but I don't know what date. November. I mean, if it was written in the early 80s, then yeah, this has to be an old paper. This has to be like his original paper. Has to be his original paper. Has to be. If they're talking about 8. Anyway, I was grabbing Encyclopedia of Trading Strategies. What is that? 386 pages. That's insane. That's insane. No one's reading that. That's crazy. No, it's crazy. I'm not reading. I'm not reading. Something about Rockefeller technical analysis. Let's see what this is. Technical analysis for dummies. Funny. Barbara Rockefeller. Wrong Rockefeller. I wonder if this is a good book. I have no idea. I have no idea. You guys have no idea how extensive my trading book library is. CMT level 1, though, is a really good technical analysis book. That it has to be. I mean, this is the exam for TA traders. Quotations. 1,000 pages. Have fun, guys. All right, enough going down memory lane. We're gonna close all of these and we're gonna go to the charts. Yeah, but this front point presentation is great. Daniel, and your super chat. You should do some research into flat earth tone. Don't dismiss it. Yeah, thanks. The same way people dismiss Bitcoin as a scam. Check out Eric Dubé's videos on flat earth. Are you serious, Daniel? Please, please. I do have a degree in geology, you know. All right, let's go to the charts. So, love the daily chart. We bounced right off the 50-period moving average. That was great. I did not panic with my position. We remain. Nope, that's not my position. We remain 100% long in Bitcoin. I was a little bit, concerned yesterday. We are now down to 9 hours to go in current candle. You can see it as a bullish candle, even though the candle might close red. So far, so good. We remain 100% bullish. I know the S&P is struggling a bit. Bitcoin is doing fairly well. Mark B mentioning till the last Ukrainian documentary. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for using my recommendation of watching. We remain bullish here with 100% position, and I'm optimistic into next week. Optimistic into next week. Weekly chart right here. The week is looking great. I would love to see this close as a green candle. We have the weekend to help us out. And all of these bank issues that are dropping the S&P 500 seem to be very, very bullish for Bitcoin. That's the position daily chart. Daily chart looks good. Guys, these lines are getting a little bit annoying. I'm going to drop. It's been made. I had 3 scenarios: bullish optimistic, bullish pessimistic, and a bearish path. We did not take the bearish path. I'm going to delete all of these arrows. They're just cluttering my chart now. The point's been made, and now it's getting over cluttered. And yes, I expected it to go a little bit higher and pop on this day a little bit higher. That did not happen. Expected it to bounce off the moving average and go higher. Still expecting it to go to bounce off the moving average. And I'm going to delete this as well, but I'm going to leave that arrow. Let's see your monthly chart. The monthly chart doesn't change. I don't have a monthly chart. This is now my monthly chart became a weekly chart only because I did it in with 60 bars as far as weeks go. This became a weekly chart. This used to be a monthly chart. Now it's 14 bars, which is fine. It's 14 months. Corresponds 60. I mean, this is good. I can probably leave it like this. It was 60 bars before. Let's do this. Yeah, I'm gonna turn that weekly chart into a month. Oh, didn't mean to do that. We can do this. So we can kind of see it all in one place. So it was 60 bars on a weekly scale. And we are 14 bars on a monthly scale. We're down to 14, less than 12 months to go to the halving. I believe the halving will be late March. Either way, we have less than a year to go. And so far, we are following the right path. Okay, in the last couple of hours, it hasn't done very well. I'm not yet concerned. I really like the GBTC. Look at the discount getting smaller. I really want this to get across the 30. I think once it crosses the 30, it's a bit of a game changer, in my opinion. Oil crashed and I believe capitulated. We do not yet have an MRI buy on oil. We could have a second consecutive MRI buy on oil. I did not expect that. Speaking of oil, let's look at the junkie known as the current Biden administration and their obsession in removing the strategic petroleum reserve and potentially putting the United States in a compromisable military situation. Let's see how much oil they siphoned off. The data has not yet been provided. Today is Thursday, but the data has not yet been released. I'm sorry, guys. This was the number we saw before. Release date is 5/3. I believe today is 5/4. So I don't know why they're not giving us the data. It's already a day later. They should have released the data, but they haven't done it. So I don't know what to tell you. We don't know the numbers. They're delaying. They're stalling, showing us what they did with the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. So I have no answer. I can't believe you guys are still talking about flat Earth. Oil prices are super volatile. Yes, thank you, Sherlock. Kidding, Dana. So Let's get back to oil prices. And until we know what's going on with the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, we don't know if we have an answer or not. We may have an answer if that Strategic Petroleum Reserve got greatly depleted, but they're not giving us the date. So we wait. We wait and see. So I like this candle. I like that it breached the MRI support, but didn't close below it yet. That's a reversal candle, but the MRI is still pointing to more downside. And the fact that this is a double bottom is also pointing to more downside. But that is a reversal candle. And the shape of the candle is my number one most important thing. Natural gas is going down. Natural gas made a double top. I still believe natural gas will have its day. I was very, very cautious on natural gas as far as entering bullish trades because I wanted to see those moving averages cross over, and I wanted to see it. If you guys remember, I used to have a couple of lines that looked like this: up and then down, and then bounce off support. I wanted to see this. This would be the buying opportunity. That did not happen. So we will remain waiting for that opportunity in natural gas. I can't believe you guys are still arguing over flat Earth. That is funny. Gold is about to close at a new all-time high. I've been bullish on gold. This would be a non-deniable. Let me see if we had a new intra-candle swing high. The all-time high here was, what do we got here? The high was, let's say, 2090. We're going to round. And the close was 2030. The high was 2080, and the close was not over 20. So the all-time high in gold remains July 2020. Now the swing high now is 2085, and here it is 2089. So we are, $1 short. But the close is significantly higher so far, and today is Thursday, so we got another day. This is also a weekly MRI warning candle. So the MRI top is coming next week. I would like to see a clean top. This would be a triple top for the mother of all head and shoulders, cup and handles, whatever you guys want to call this. And I do think gold is going to 3,000, in a very, very slow, lake wind, but it will get there. I'm laughing at the live chat. I'm sorry, guys. Let's not go into S&P 500. This is the monthly scale. I think S&P 500 is bullish, but I am now very, very concerned. The weekly chart is once again on the brink of disaster. It's not as bad as it was in early March. In early March, we broke this trend line, and we also, and not only did we break this trend line, we were also below all the moving averages. This time around, we are breaking the trend line, but the moving averages are support, so we're still okay. On the daily scale, however, this is very concerning. On a daily scale, as I stated in Spaces the other day, or the other day, yesterday, we are also breaking this. We broke this trend line. Really sucks with the back test. And then you can also, stretch this trend line to be this trend line, but you can't stretch it anymore. We've now broken a trend line. we have fallen below the prior swing low. And we just created a red star candle on the MRI. This is very, very bad for the S&P daily chart. Very, very bad. I am bearish unless we rally hard the rest of the day. Can we rally and close as a green candle later today? Anything's possible. It is unlikely. And on a daily scale, this looks very, very bad. Very bad. But as long as the S&P stays above the prior swing low of early March or mid-March, we're still somewhat okay. This is Coinbase stock. All right. Someone asked me about Panama. I probably already got on a tangent today. Maybe I'll talk about Panama another day. But thank you for asking my views on Panama and why I'm here. We'll cover it on a different stream. I don't want to go down another sidetrack discussion. We're already talking about moon landings and flat earths and other stuff. The BLX is a very well-built chart. Yes, I hope you know that I was one of the original person that built the BLX, but it has since then been rebuilt. I was a researcher for Brave New Coin back in 2015, and I didn't code the BLX, but I was the one that structured the financial formula to build the BLX, which has since then, I'm sure, has been rebuilt by someone that understands indices better than me. I do understand indices. I did also work for MSCI, which is an indices company. They make ETFs, they make indices, emerging market ETFs, and everything. Though I did work in the risk modeling department in the index building. But yes, I was involved in building the BLX. That it was the first. Right now, I tend to use trading views. I tend to use trading views index right here. But back in the day, when we built the BLX, it was the only historical index, because everything else you had to use an exchange, and the Mt. Gox exchange, which started in 2010, ended in 2013. And all the other exchanges started in like 2012, unless you want to use the Chinese exchanges, which started in 2011. So it was very, very difficult to get a price chart that went back to 2010. And BLX was the first to go back to 2010. And I was one of the people that built it originally. All right, guys. I don't think I have anything else, and I do have to get going in 5 minutes. Check DXY, sure. Anytime you make me go to an FX chart, you know I'm going to check the Russian ruble and the Ukrainian hryvnia. To me, they're very, very important, both different reasons. USD daily chart. Daily is not very interesting. USD weekly chart. The structure looks very bad and very bearish for the US dollar. Now, as you guys know, I am bullish on the US dollar long term and bearish on the euro long term. This is my expectation, and we are below my expectation. AP versus the dollar. MRI sell next week on a daily or a weekly? Man, these charts are taking their sweet time to load. We'll keep an eye on the halving. Oh, I think we have a new. What's going on? Uh-oh. Am I still streaming? Is mempool that? All right, I think I had a service interruption. All right, I think we're back. Try this again. All right, so I think the difficulty is coming in 10 minutes. Wow. Difficulty adjustment in 10 minutes. We have like one more block to go. That's cool. That's super cool. We just had a block 2 minutes ago. And the block before that was 8 minutes ago. And the block before that, 33. So who knows, 3 minutes ago now. So we're going to have a difficulty adjustment in a matter of minutes. Wow. Cool. There's our clock. I think this is wrong. It's so hard to estimate how many, like, the time between blocks. It's crazy. Right, the difficulty adjustment is actually going to be down. That's interesting. Hasn't happened in a while. Super cool. So what were we looking at? We were looking at GBP. GBP is coming up on an MRI sell next week. Wow. So GBP has been rising against the dollar. So it costs more dollars if you go to UK. So the pound should start to devalue as of next week, according to the MRI. I think Powell does want the rate to be close to the 6% at the end of the year. I like coin halving in 96 days. Okay, remind me in like 90 days. And since we're looking at currencies, we're going to take a look at the ruble. And the ruble is now strengthening. Again, Russia is making significant advancements in Ukraine. Ukraine is on the verge of doing a counteroffensive. This counteroffensive could be successful. They sent a drone into Moscow, which is unreasonably stupid and dangerous. Like, there was a serious attempt on Putin's life by the Ukrainians. There will be no Ukraine. It will not exist. It will be like a big hole. It will be like the Empire's Death Star firing on Alderaan. That's what will basically happen to Ukraine. And Russia will not give a shit if they destroy the neighboring countries of Ukraine. So it is a very dangerous game that is being played by attacking Moscow. Like, if I was anywhere near Kiev, I would get the hell out of there and as far away as possible. This is one of the reasons why I'm perfectly happy. Mostly Latin America. Let me be on the south side of the equator when all hell breaks loose. But I am going to Japan. I will be in Japan in a couple of weeks. I will be in Japan for an event. I'll talk about it probably next stream because I do have to end this. And so I am heading to Japan, and then I'm heading back to the Americas. Do you think that attempt was legit? Well, what do you mean by legit, right? Did it have a chance to kill Putin? No. The question of legitimacy is interesting. Do I think Russia is trying to do what Germany did in burning down their own parliament in order to create a false flag event to get the Russians, hating their enemies. I don't believe that's the case, but is it possible? Yes, that's possible. It is possible that Russia is pretending like the Ukrainians are attacking Moscow in order to get everyone in Russia on board with their plan. I do not believe that is the case. I do believe this also may not have been the Ukrainians. I have no idea. But I do believe that some country and some defense ministry of a country did send that drone to Moscow as a show of, we can get you at home too. Now, whether that was Ukrainians, whether that was Americans, whether that was the Polish, whether that was, the Germans or the Brits or Finns, I have no idea, right? The most likely scenario is that it was the Ukrainians. The second most likely scenario is that it was the Americans, because Victoria Nuland still runs the show. And if there's one person that hates Russia and Putin more than anything else that has ever existed in the entirety of human history, it's Nuland hatred for Russia and Putin. And she still runs the show. So most likely outcome is that it was the Ukrainian military. This is why Zelensky is hiding out in Finland and not even in Ukraine, because he knows what's the retaliation of that could be a little dangerous for him. Second most likely is that it was Americans. And a third most likely is that it was Europeans, other Europeans. Those are your three candidates. And the fourth most likely, or the least likely of the four, is that it was Russians themselves creating a false flag. I'm not ruling that possibility out, but I do think that is the least likely possibility of them all. Hey guys, let Daniel say his piece about flat Earth. We don't have to ban him for that. We are, it's being a flat earther is not as bad as being a shitcoiner. We can let that slide. Could have been Slovakia, like I said. All other European countries are equally likely, but my number one, I guess, country most likely. So that's the order: Ukraine, America, other Europeans, and then Russia itself. It could just be a random person with a drone. I would say that's the fourth. That's number 5, right? That is the fifth and the least likely outcome. Some person with a military drone. Random person acting on their own with a military drone. That rarely happens. It rarely happens. Just like in America, a mass shooting rarely happens by a random person. There's always a higher power involved convincing them to do it. Usually, they're involved with the government. I agree. False flags is not Russian style. I completely agree with that. It's not an American style, it's a Western style. Germany was doing false flags back in to start World War II, to help them start World War II. US does false flags all the time. It is a strategy more for the West and not for the East. And Russia is more East than it is West. Yes, you can fly a drone near the parliament, but it wouldn't be a military drone. And the UK is actually stupid for allowing you to fly a drone near the parliament. Like, you can't fly a drone anywhere in Dubai, for example, without the express permission of the Dubai government. And there is a reason for that. Okay. On this note, I got to get going. I gotta do some stuff. Thank you all for watching, and see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.